block. We hear loud pops happening, and don't know what that was. People are now scattering.
We were on live on the air last night when that happened, and that's when everything changed in the evening hours. You can hear our reporter Chris Williams there in the background with the ring of gunfire, multiple shots being fired in downtown Louisville. Police report 7 people were shot and injured last night by other members in the crowd. 2 of those victims are in stable condition at this time in the hospital. Police say at no time did any officers fire their weapons last night.
They shot him.
This video sent to WHAS 11 News showing at least 2 people on the ground. This is from a much different angle, one we have not seen yet. We can also see the Metro police officers moving in there, trying to help the people who are down. The video showing police are also trying to push people back, attempting to defuse the situation.
We do not want violence or civil unrest, but I do want you to know that we will not tolerate violence. We will not tolerate people being hurt. We will not tolerate the destruction of property.
That's the assistant police chief during the 4 o'clock hour giving the afternoon update. Police continuing their presence in downtown Louisville, allowing people to voice their opinions in a peaceful way, stating though that they do have Kentucky State Police joining them to help them tonight if needed. Hello everyone, I'm Doug Proffitt. The work to clean up the damage to government and private buildings started actually overnight. Take a look. This is the Kentucky Towers building. This is a row of windows shattered last night. And over here, this is a restaurant also on Ali, the front window broken out. 4th Street Live sweeping up a lot of glass as the Sports and Social Club has a boarded up window on the right of your screen. The Hall of Justice was vandalized along with Metro Police Headquarters. And again, the arm of the statue of King Louis right out in front of Metro Hall taken off last night by the protesters. More of our team coverage. Heather Fountain covering the police response and arrest that happened last night. Chris Williams getting a reaction from lawmakers. But tonight the unrest is continuing, but it is a peaceful protest at the moment. Let's join Shay McAllister, who's been watching this group, 2 of them actually, joining together since 5 o'clock. Shay, where do things stand now?
Hey Doug, so you said it, right around 5 o'clock. So tonight we are continuing our team coverage. Heather Fountain covering a different angle of this, the law enforcement reaction. Heather, what are you seeing?
Hey there, Shay. So I'm about a block away from you.
Where the lasting change comes from the events of last night is yet to be seen. We're certainly hoping for it, but some in a position of power to bring change and others looking to gain a role of power reacted to the violent night. WHAS 11's political editor Chris Williams was live as the bullets ripped through the crowd last night. He's joining us live right now with reaction from some of your local lawmakers. Chris?
And Doug, as I get there, I want to step out of the way so you can see, because you're going to hear this behind me, and I want you to know what's going on. Some of the cars that have been involved in blocking this intersection for the group of protesters at 6th and Jefferson have turned sideways, and they're blaring their horns as people march through.
Now this is footage from multiple Facebook Lives at Jefferson Square Park where shots rang out and had people running for cover. Tonight we're learning that the man killed last night at Jefferson Square Park after a gunman opened fire on peaceful protesters is 27-year-old Tyler Girth. Good evening and thanks for joining us at 6:30 here. I'm Paulina Butska. The Louisville native and Trinity graduate has been with protesters in the park as a photographer when the shooting happened around 9 last night. Girth's family released a statement earlier today saying, quote, Tyler was incredibly kind, tender-hearted, and generous, holding deep convictions and faith, adding, while we cannot fathom this life without our happy, inquisitive, hardworking, funny, precious Tyler, we pray that his death would be a turning point and catalyst for peace in the city he loved so much. Well, Tyler Emery right now is joining us live from Jefferson Square Park. And Tyler, a tragic loss last night, but what new information are we learning today?
Well, Paulina, just in the last hour, we've learned from his arrest citation that the alleged shooter last night is 23-year-old Stephen Lopez.
Tyler, it's exactly 30 minutes after LMPD told protesters they have to leave Jefferson Square Park. How is that crowd out there right now?
Well, Paulina, there is a large crowd gathered in the park, and I want to point out, take a look, that there is not much police presence here now.
We've been out here for 215 days, and this is what justice for Breonna Taylor looks like.
Protesters back out on downtown Louisville streets tonight after news that 2 more LMPD officers are facing termination for their roles in the March 13th death of Breonna Taylor. Thanks for joining us here on the Night Team. I'm Shay McAllister. 9 months after Taylor was shot and killed, the chief of police has taken the first step to fire 2 more officers for their part in her death. Detectives Joshua Janes and Miles Cosgrove both received letters of termination from the department today. Let's get right to Jesse Cohen, who's live outside LMPD headquarters with what we know about those terminations right now. Jesse?
Well, Shay, Joshua Janes and Miles Cosgrove are now the 2nd and 3rd LMPD officers to be fired in the Breonna Taylor case.
And we have breaking news as we start our show this evening. Big changes in the Breonna Taylor case. Good evening, I'm Shay McAllister. Doug is off tonight. The Commonwealth's attorney, Tom Wine, is now calling for the court to dismiss charges against Kenneth Walker. He's being charged with attempted murder of a police officer. In a news conference this afternoon, Wine said he came to the decision after working through the details of the case. And Jesse Cohen was listening in to Wine's announcement, joins us now live downtown with what happened. Jesse?
Tom Wine provided many details during today's news conference.
Tonight at 6 o'clock, new evidence revealed within the past hour, clearing LMPD of killing popular barbecue man David McAtee. Instead, the fatal shot we are learning coming from the Kentucky National Guard. Hello, everyone. I'm Doug Proffitt, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. We do have team coverage on this developing story. Heather Fontaine is downtown Louisville with more on the reaction from what the investigation is revealing. Political editor Chris Williams is live in Frankfurt. He covered that news conference on the new evidence. And Chris, we learned an answer to one big question: who fired first?
Yeah, Doug, Governor Andy Beshear's Executive Cabinet Secretary J. Michael Brown said a couple of things that were very important to this case. Let's check in with Heather Fontaine live in Louisville with the latest from the family's attorney.
Hey there, Chris. We are live outside of the law office of Steve Romines, who is the family attorney for David McAtee.
And this just in here tonight at 6 o'clock. The lawyer representing the fired police detective Brett Hankison of Metro Police filing an appeal today, calling Hankison's termination a, quote, cowardly political act. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. The lawyer is arguing that the mayor and the police chief have not fully investigated the facts before firing Hankison, saying we must wait until all of the facts and the evidence are finally presented. Tonight, Gabriel is following the case.
On Tuesday,
Here tonight at 6 o'clock on WHAS 11 News, it's a Kentucky primary that's expected to push record-breaking voter interest, but one where we're all going to have to wait 1 week to get the full final results. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this primary night at 6. I'm Doug Proffitt, and at 6 o'clock, the polls are going to close as they always do, but that's about the only thing routine on this primary night. The votes are coming from mail-in ballots. 883,000 of those absentee ballots were sent out. And the Kentucky Secretary of State says over 103,000 people have already voted in person statewide. And we do have full team coverage for you on the voters at the polls. Rose McBride is at Jefferson County's single polling location, the Fairgrounds, covering what voters experienced today. Tyler Emery is also at the Fairgrounds, focusing on voter turnout. And WHAS 11's political editor Chris Williams is covering some of the most closely watched races. First, we want to check in with Rose McBride, who's been there for several hours today. Rose, what are the voters telling you?
Hey, Doug, I spoke to a lot of voters as they were leaving the polls today. We turn it over to Tyler Emery right now to talk a little bit more about the voter turnout we've seen. Hey, Tyler.
Well, Rose, right now I'm hearing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown right outside the doors of the Expo Center. I'm going to send it over to my colleague Chris Williams, our political editor, who's been keeping a close eye on the biggest race. Chris, what have you been hearing today?
Well, and Tyler, we have some breaking news, and we're going to pan our camera back over to the area where you're at right now.
We do want to update you on the developing story at the fairgrounds, where the polls did close 10 minutes ago at 6 o'clock, but people were rushing up there to get in to vote, and now the campaign of Charles Booker has filed an injunction to keep that polling location open past 6. Let's check in with Tyler Emery on the crowd that's been growing out there. Tyler?
Well, Doug, there is a very large crowd out here outside of the south wing doors of the Expo Center.
So right now at the moment, a Jefferson Circuit Court judge is reviewing the injunction filed by the Booker campaign, and a news release from the Booker campaign says they want voting hours extended until 9 o'clock tonight at the fairgrounds. Let's check in with Tyler Emery and Chris Williams on this developing story. Tyler?
Well, Doug, I'm outside the doors of the south wing. Hold on, take a look. All right, we are hearing a lot of cheers. Someone just said that the judge approved Booker's injunction. We are hearing some staff from inside the building now let voters inside. Thank you to Judge. Lots of cheers as someone spread the news of that information just in the last 30 minutes or so.
Tyler, hold on a second. You've been out there. What a remarkable scene we saw just transfold Hill live as they were allowed in. Would you say you saw maybe a couple of hundred people going in? I'm not good at crowd estimates, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but that was a pretty good sized group that went in.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And Chris Williams, our political editor, is joining me right now. And he was on the inside as that crowd was going in.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, and Doug, but I need to get back inside. But I want to tell you that they told us, Nori Javadi with the clerk's office told us that anyone who is on this patio until 6:30 will be allowed to come in and vote.
Breaking news as we come on the air tonight. Embattled LMPD Chief of Police Steve Conrad announces he's retiring at the end of June. I'm Shay McAllister. Doug has the night off. Conrad has faced criticism in the past, including a no confidence vote, calls for his job, and now the Breonna Taylor death involving his officers has hit national spotlight and upset many in the community. Tonight, we have team coverage. Tyler Emery is at LMPD headquarters with the details about Conrad's retirement, and Heather Fountain is in downtown Louisville with reaction about the announcement. First, we go to Tyler with all of the details.
Well, Shay, Chief Conrad telling Mayor Greg Fisher today about his retirement.
Here at 6, one of those cases includes an 8-month-old child in Jefferson County. This is considered rare. The latest 7 new cases, bringing our statewide total now to 35. Tonight we have team coverage. Political editor Chris Williams is live in Frankfort covering the latest news from the governor. Tonight, Gabrigadis is live from the Ford plant after Ford announces that it'll be closing its plants, including the plant in Louisville. Dennis Ting in downtown Louisville as more local businesses, including barbershops, deal with the impact of social distancing. But first, let's get right to Chris Williams live in Frankfort. More on what the governor had to say. Chris?
Doug, some of those new cases included a female in Jefferson County and an 88-year-old in Bourbon County. Tonight, Gabrigadis joins us live from the Ford assembly plant in Louisville. And tonight, what is Ford doing to help those employees?
Well, Chris, more than 13,000 people who work at the 2 Ford plants in Louisville, the truck plant in the East End, and the assembly plant behind me will not return tomorrow night. Dennis Ting is outside live, one barbershop with that story. Dennis.
Well, tonight, that's right. Now, just about an hour earlier, there were still people inside the barbershop downtown.
First here on the night team, a still developing story at this hour. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. A large fire at a strip mall in a shopping center in New Albany, where several businesses are located. The smoke could be seen for miles. No injuries have been reported so far. The night team's Tyler Emery is live there right now to tell us more about it and what happened. Tyler?
Well, Doug, the fire was put out several hours ago now at this point.
And right now at 5 o'clock, you're looking live from the Kentucky governor's briefing room, where any moment now, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is going to be giving his second update of the day on coronavirus in Kentucky. Here is the governor live right now at 5 o'clock. You're watching live Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. This news conference will continue on WHS11.com if you want to continue on. But the news at 5 o'clock, Kentucky's positive COVID cases are now up by 2 from this morning. 2 more cases out of Harrison County, Kentucky. That's, of course, where Kentucky's first COVID-19 case was diagnosed from that Walmart employee there. School Superintendent Marty Polio there now taking questions from reporters. So let me recap for you, if you're just joining us, what he said today. First of all, What is NTI? A lot of parents wondering that. Well, folks, basically it stands for non-traditional instruction. That means your students will be taking their classes from April 7th on through a computer. It's not face-to-face with a teacher in the classroom. And we're following another big breaking story here tonight at 6. Public schools across Kentucky are going to be allowed to reopen. So many of you have been waiting for months for this news from the governor. It means open buildings, open classrooms with teachers and students in those classrooms, and full capacity school buses across our community. Political editor Chris Williams was in the room with the governor covering the announcement, details, and a bunch of questions on how all this is going to work. Hey, Chris.
It happened here at the old Capitol in Frankfort, Doug. Wearing those masks will be a requirement when Kentucky kids go back to school.
Just minutes ago, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear confirming the second death in Kentucky related to the COVID-19 coronavirus. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. Another child has tested positive within a total of 17 more patients right here in Metro Louisville, as the governor is also ordering a stop to all gatherings of any size or kind. We go to political editor Chris Williams. He's joining us live from Frankfort, where he covered the governor's latest briefing. Hey, Chris.
And Doug, you'll have to float with me here. I'm going through two phones and running back and forth between these news conferences, and a lot of information just coming down.
In the midst of controversy and after years of criticism, Louisville Metro Police Chief Steve Conrad has announced he will retire at the end of the month. Good evening, I'm Shay McAllister. Doug has the night off. The news comes as the FBI announces it will launch an investigation into the Breonna Taylor case. And we have team coverage tonight, starting with the night team's Tyler Emery, who is live at LMPD. Tyler.
Chief Conrad's abrupt retirement announcement today comes after 8 rocky years leading LMPD.
Dozens of sick residents transferred from a Louisville nursing home to area hospitals tonight. The facility getting COVID-19 test results back after Governor Beshear ordered widespread testing last week. Good evening, I'm Shay McAllister. Doug has the night off. The night team's Tyler Emery got the tip on this news earlier this evening. And tonight she's live at Nazareth Home's Clifton campus. And Tyler, we're told this process could last all night. What are you seeing now?
Well, Shay, this transport process actually just seemingly wrapped up in the last 30 minutes or so.
Hundreds take their demands to the Kentucky Capitol today, calling for the Kentucky Attorney General to charge 3 Louisville Metro police officers in the Breonna Taylor shooting case. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. It was a big crowd, including Taylor's mother and Taylor's boyfriend, along with celebrities, aiming their messages at Attorney General Daniel Cameron. His office is investigating the Metro police case now, and the action's back to March 13th. Tonight, Gabrigagadis has spent the day in Frankfort. She joins us live with more on that big rally. Tonight.
Yeah, Doug, this rally organized by Breonna's family and the organization Until Freedom